Today we're gonna do a little back testing using Florida Pick 3 midday number from July 1st so that I can show you how you can use the first number of the month, the beginning of the month, and you can take that one number and with the rundown, use it for the remainder of the month to bring you multiple hits. So I'm on the Florida Pick 3 site. I have up the results here for July 1st through the 26th. And as you can see, on July 1st, 2023, 228 came with a fireball of 6. We're going to only focus on that 228 for right now. And we're going to make a rundown out of it. So I'm going to just move the phone aside. I'm using 317 as my starting point for my rundown. However, you don't have to use that. You can use any number of your choosing, any combination of your choosing. I'm using 317 because it works for Florida and other states I've tested it in. It also works in those other states. It's not 100% because the lottery is not guaranteed. However, it works a lot of the times, right? So let's start with that 317. Our July 1st midday was 228. So we're gonna put 228 there. And this is how we're gonna do our rundown. So I am going to just fill in the numbers, and if you need to, feel free to just pause the video and copy the numbers down so that you can follow along, right? So 2 and 3 is going to be 5, 8, 1, 4, 7, 0, 3, 6, 9, 2. Your last number should return back to this number, right? So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0, 1, 2. See, it returned back to this number. 7 and 8 is going to be 15. I'm going to drop the 1 and keep the 5. So it's going to be 5, 2, 9, 6, 3, 0, 7, 4, 1, 8. Now, after I have written down this rundown, it's going to bring me back to 228, where I started from. I'm going to look at my ends to see where I have a pair or where I have like a mirror number. And mirror numbers are going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the mirror of 0 is a 5. So if you see a 5, it could be a 0. 1 is going to be a 6. 2 is going to be a 7. 3 is going to be 8. 4 is going to be 9. So my ends are going to be pairs, which is 5s. And then if I came down here, it's going to be 0. I'm drawing a box around it because this is going to be my indicator. This is going to also be my indicator. And my indicators are where my future numbers can possibly fall from. So it can either fall on the right in this category here, also on the left, and on the bottom, right, bottom left. But I'm going to also take it a step further because some of my numbers are double. So just starting with the hit number 228, that's a double 2s. I'm going to mirror one of the 2s to a 7. On the mirror chart, you can see it's a 7. And then I'm going to also come down here, mirror the 7s to a 2. And on the right side, I have double 6s. I'm going to mirror that to 1. And then I have double 1s. I'm going to mirror those to a 6. The reason why I do this is because whenever you have like these doubles that fall here, there's a good chance that in future hits, your numbers could possibly fall off of these doubles that also mirror to like another number, right? So what our focus is going to be for today is looking at numbers that could possibly fall off of the indicators, and then we can also look at other trends, like other trends or patterns, right? So let's go back to our trusted handy dandy phone. And let's take a look here. So July 1st was midday was 228. That evening was that 354. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Evening was 354. And if we're looking off of the indicators, you can see on the top indicator right away that 354 fell right there. And it fell both on the right side as well as the left, because this is like, you know, the fives. So let's just make a note of that, 354. So I'm just gonna make a separate list here, 354, and that was 7-1 Eve. I write it this way because as I continue to document more numbers, this is how I can look to see if my numbers are falling evening or midday, or if there's a majority evening, majority midday. So this is why I do this. You don't have to necessarily do it, but it's a good way to trend. The next day, 652 came. It's not really standing out here by the indicator, so I'm just going to leave that and move on. 469 came. 469 came. It did not come around the indicators, but we talked about looking at possible trends and patterns. And besides the indicators, which are the 5s and the 0s, you can also look at other pattern recognition, which is basically going in different directions, right? So if I looked around here, my 694 falls in this like triangle area right here. So if you look at it, the 218, 901, 694, 387, this is also a pattern of identifying how your numbers can fall. 387, 070, 763, 456, 149, 832, 525. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark this here because that 694 did come. And that was the next day Eve. So 694 was 72 Eve. That's the second evening number that came. So that's a pattern it's forming, right? What we can also look at is the third 563 came. I am not seeing any 563 that's really standing out here. But we had 287 that came that evening, right? And as we talked about before, when you have doubles, there's a possibility that your numbers could fall off of this double. So the 287 that came on 7-3, it fell off of this indicator where you have the 7 that doubled. So it's 278, right? If you wanted to just play around with it and just, you know, if you wasn't sure how it was gonna fall, you could have did 278, 270, 274, but that 278 sure did come. So let's go ahead and mark that down. Not 278, 287. 287 came that 7-3, another evening number. So this is the third evening hit so far from this list. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mark this here, 287. All right, let's keep going. All right, so the next day 570 came and 183. When I'm looking here, I don't see like a connecting pattern, so I'm just gonna keep going. We had 735 that came the next day, and 735 will fall off of the same double that we talked about. So if you look at the upper double, right, you can see that 22 double mirrored to a 7, and that 735 fell right there. Like I said before, if you weren't sure how it could have fallen, you could have did 725, 723, 753, and just held these numbers, but at least that 7 735 would have came. So 735, and that came on 75. And now we're talking about a midday number, which is that's our first midday number. So let's go ahead and write this down here, 735. Okay, so after 735 came, we had 864 that came. 864 is a little tricky. It's in here. If you're a beginner, you might have probably not picked up on it, but someone who's been doing this a little bit longer could have identified it. So for right now, I'm talking about looking at indicators, but before we talked about pattern recognition, like that 694 right there, right? So just looking at other patterns where you have like the doubles that mirrored, the 864 would have fell out here. So it's in the rundown, but it's not like, oh, it's falling off of the indicator. It's more outside of the indicator, but it's around another, like the double, which you could have been like, oh, I could have played 816, 164, 864, 814, right? So just to kind of give you that 864 was right there. I'm gonna just use another pen. So we had 864, and that was 75. So by looking at this list, I hope you can see that just within the first 5 days, we would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers that would have hit. And if we had played this right, it could have been anywhere from winning a minimum of like $40 per hit, up to $500, right? And then if you play multiple of these, that could have, been anything. So just giving you that look within the first 5 days, we would have been winning. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so we stopped at 864, which was there. The next day, which was 76, that 420 came. Looking here, I'm not seeing anything that really stands out to make it easy, so I'm just gonna bypass that. The 911 came. If you look in our rundown, that 911 sits directly in the rundown. Exactly how it played is exactly how we have it listed here. That 911 is right here. So I'm just going to just draw a box around it just to kind of identify where the 911 sits. So we had 911, and that's 76. So far we've hit every day, right? So when you hear other players say, I'm hitting every day, and you're wondering, is that possible? Yep, this is proof. It's possible that you can hit every single day. You may not hit every play, but you can at least hit once, right? Every day. All right, let's keep going. All right, my next numbers are going to be 334, which looking here, it's not really standing out. 289. 289 is in here, but it's not something where you're like, oh, I can see it by the indicators. You would have to really be looking for it to find it, and I will show you just so that you can have that view of it. But 289 runs right here, and I put a star next to the 911 that played because what I've observed is that if you have a number that comes within the rundown, there's a possibility that future hits can be around the same number here. And as predicted, that 911 came and 928 is there. I'm not gonna really capture that 289 because it's not like 100% clear. I want this example to be where you're like, if I look at this, I can see my number, hold it, and play it, right? Okay, so let's just keep going. So we're gonna skip past that 289 and we're gonna go to July 8th, which 295 came that midday. If you're looking at our indicators here, we have a 295, which 295 fell right here. So we're going to go ahead and capture that 295, and that was a mid. Oh, wait, hold on. That was what date? July 8. So we're going to do July 8, mid. Oh, let me go back. So 911 was an eve, and 864 was also an eve. Wow. We have 2 mids, and the rest are all eves. Okay, that's good. After the 295 came, we had 290 that came. It's in here. I'm going to show you guys that a little bit later, but just know that that 290 is in there. I'll show you guys how that falls, right? 213 came. It's not like 100% clear, so we're just going to skip past that for right now. On July 10th, you see that 537 came back. There's no way possible for you to know that that would have played again. It would have been a repeat number, but we would have at least played and hit at least once for the month, right? But that 537 came back. 442 came. There's no real indicator here for 442. I'm not going to make it difficult and say, oh, you could have mirrored this. No, there's no true indicator there for 442. So we're going to just leave that for right now. 501 came on July 11. There's no real indicator for 501, so we're going to pass that. 644 came. I don't see anything here that's like, oh my goodness, we need to, nope, 644 is not there. We're going to keep going. 489 came. If you're, been doing this for a long time, you can possibly identify that 489. It sits right here, 489, right? By the indicators, but you would have needed to know to look for this pattern to identify that 489. So I'm just going to leave it out. We're not going to even include that because it's not like, oh, I can look at this and identify it and see it. So let's pass that. 662, I'm not going to really capture that. We have double sixes here. It would have been a stretch because if you can go either 466, 669, 665, 663, 667. There's no direct 662, but if you wanted to be fancy, you could have done 662, right? But we're going to leave it out. But I wanted to just at least show you guys how doubles can also play off of where it's at. The next one here was on 713, that 094 came. It's definitely in here. 094 is off of this indicator above this hit number right here. So we're gonna just put it in here. 094, and that was on 713 mid. So we have another midday number. All right, let's keep going. 408, there's nothing really here. I'm gonna keep going. 395, again, it doesn't really hit off of my indicators. 456 showed up in multiple ways. I will show you. Remember earlier I showed you how patterns can come like this, how the 694 came, and I kept going up stating that if a number came this way, there's a possibility that future numbers could also come this way as well too. So if you kept going, you would have identified a 4, 5, 6 sits right there, right? And it also sits off of between these indicators 4, 5, 6. So when you see a number that possibly repeats in multiple ways, that's a good indicator as well that it could possibly come. So we're gonna capture that 4, 5, 6. And that 4, 5, 6 came out on 714, and that was an evening number. We had 797 that came, nothing for 797 touches. We have 361. So let's go back to where we had identified the doubles, right? And we mirror those doubles to possibly form future combinations. You see that 361 is sitting right here, right here. Like I said before, whenever you have doubles like this and you mirror it, that's an indicator that these numbers here could possibly come. So we're going to go ahead and just capture the 361 and that was on 7/15. And that was also an evening number. Although we have 3 midday numbers, most of these are evening. So that's a trend. That's a tip, right? To say, there's a possibility that my midday number will bring me my evening number for Florida, right? But this may not be for every state. It's good to backtest your state and look for trends like how I'm showing you here. And if you need to, feel free to replay this video as much times as you need to, just to catch what I'm explaining. Okay, so we stopped off at 7:15. Let's keep going to see what else we have here. 7:16, we had 562 midday, 696. 696 is in here. I'll show you that pattern. I'll come back to it and show you that pattern later. 331 came. Nope, it's not given. 694 came back again. There's no way, no possible way for you to be like, oh yeah, I knew it was going to hit again. I knew it was going to fall again. So if you didn't catch it on that repeat, at least you would have caught it the first time, right? So let's keep going. On 7/18, 245 came. 245 is right here by the indicator. 245, and that was on 7/18 mid, right? Okay, let's keep going. And 245, it would have fallen 2 different ways. Look, 245, and then if you can't come off of the indicator, 245. Look at this. All right. And 7/18 evening, 121. Remember, I shared that whenever you have like a number that falls within the rundown, there's a possibility that future numbers could come off of it. You see that 211 is sitting right there. Even if you weren't sure how these numbers would have played, you could have at least stuck to like any of these combinations, right? 211, 281, 811. But let's go ahead and capture that 121 because it fell right there. And that 121 was an even number. So that 121 came 7/18 eve, another even number that came back. All right, so let's continue to look to see what else came. 149 sits in there. 149 is in here. I'm going to show you. I hope you guys can see it. If you pause it, try to find it. Let me give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. You see it? Let me show it to you. 149. So it goes back to that pattern recognition that I was telling you about. We started with that 694. And if you kept going in the same direction, we hit that 456. We kept going in the same direction, we would have hit that 149. So let's go ahead and just capture that 149. And then that 149 is here. 149 is another midday, and that came 7/19 mid, right? Let me just switch this up a little bit. The next number on 7/19 was 427. And I hope you guys can see that because that 427 fell right off of our indicator using our doubles. Let's go ahead and just mark it here, 427. And then let's capture it here, 427. And that would have been 7/19 eve. More even numbers are coming, right? I hope you guys can see this here. Our next one would have been 7/20, 095 came. There's nothing that's really standing out for 095, so I'm not gonna even try it. I'm just gonna keep on going. That 917 came, and the 917, let me just show you guys this here. Remember when I explained before, if you have a double, you just mirror that number. I should have mirrored this one right here because the 917 fell, and it fell off of this hit that came before. So it could have been 912, 221, 917. So the 917 did come, and it came right here off of our previous hit. And that was another even number, and that even number was for 720. All right. We have lots of numbers. Okay. 721, 828 came. I'm not going to even try to make it happen. 344, I'm not going to even try to make that happen either. 235, this indicator spot up here is very popular this month because 235 fell on 722. And that was a midday number. After 235, 081 came. I'm going to come back to that because I want to show you guys a pattern with that. 353, it's not, right? I'm not going to even make it happen. 396 is definitely there, and 396 is coming off of an indicator. If you see 396 is falling right here, I'm just going to go ahead and put that down. 396. And 396 is another even number. So that came 723. Wow, evening. Wow. Okay. Our next one was 861. And 861, if you guys come back here, you can see, remember when I explained before about the double, you mirror one of the doubles, and that 861 fell right here off of that. Through this example, I know it looks pretty busy right now, but if you go back to the beginning, you'll see where we captured the doubles, and if you can tell by now, a lot of our hits are falling off of the indicators and the doubles. So let's mark that 861 here, and that was on 724. And that was a midday number. Okay. So we also have 613. Before, in the beginning of the month, we had, mid-month, we had 361 that came on the 15th for the eve. That 613 repeated. There's no possible way on this one here that you would have known that number would have repeated, but it's an even number. So that says something for the pattern recognition, right? Another even number came. 724 came again, which is a repeat right here. 427 played earlier. And 639 came again, which is another repeat. It fell right there as 396. So right now, just going off of what we've talked about so far, we would have captured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We would have captured 18 numbers in the last 25 days because I haven't even looked at the 726s yet, right? We would have captured 18 numbers. That's a lot of winnings. That's almost every day you're hitting a number, almost every day. Now, the other pattern that I wanted to show you of how the numbers could come. Now, if you go back to where 7/7, July 7, that 289 came. And I showed you guys that you could have gotten a little fancy and possibly explored that 289 right here. It was on like a curve or a slant, but it fell within the prior hit of 911 that came the previous evening. If you see that 928 that wraps here, now another pattern that I've observed is that if something comes in this direction, there's a possibility that another hit can also fall in, wrapping it in the other direction. So that 121 fell, and it's obvious 121 right here, but it's also falling in a different way as well, right? That 121, 211, which wraps at 289, not 928. So if you had recognized this in the beginning of the month, you could have also held that 121 and say, you know what, it's gonna come, it's gonna come. So that's just another pattern recognition that I wanted to show you there. The other pattern recognition that I wanted to show you was on July 8th. We had 295 and 290 that came. If you looked at the rundown, it's not really standing out. But if you go back to that previous 911 hit, that 290 falls right here, 290,092. Now, look at the pattern, 290, and let's go in the opposite direction. So this is the left, let's go to the right, 290,018. So another pattern recognition I want to show you. So on July 8th, that 290 came in the evening. And then if you went to the right side, that 810 or 018 also came, right? So let's do the 289. Let's do the 290, and let's do the 810. So that's three additional numbers. If you're looking at true patterns, you could have identified that would have also hit. Was there anything else that I saw? I think that was pretty much it. Okay. Let's see what came for today. Let's see what came for today. So today was 326 and 901. Oh my goodness. Okay, so our numbers for at least one of the numbers for today is in here. So let's go back. Let's go back to our pattern recognition, right? So we identified a 694 and we kept going in the same direction. And from this direction, we were able to also pull off the 456, the 149. But if you look in the bottom part of that same direction, that 901 is right there. The 901 sits right before the 694, and that played today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and capture that. 901, and that was on 726. Oh, that's another evening number. Awesome. Now, there's two ways that 901 fell. The 901 fell in this same pattern recognition as the 694, the 456, the 149, but it also fell off of the 911 indicator, and the 911 indicator is right here, right? The 901. So please remember what I said. If you have numbers that fall within your rundown, highlight it, right? Put a box or circle, star next to it so that you know to come back to look at this number here as a reference. There's multiple numbers that fell off of this here. So let's recount for a second as to our new number of hits that was a possibility for this month. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We would have had 22 hits. Isn't that awesome? It's only July 26th, and you would have had 22 hits, which is almost an average of about a hit a day, give or take -4. But this is pretty awesome. So when you hear people say that I'm hitting every single day, this is true to say that, because I've just given you the key to how you can possibly hit every single day. This is awesome. I love this example. If you got lost in the sauce, if something was just a little off and you're not sure where it happened, feel free to rewind the video, go back, freeze it, use your own numbers if you need to play it. While I'm on this screen, I'm going to also give you an example of how I cross-reference future numbers. The 317 is really great to use. You can use your indicator, right? You can use your pattern recognition. You can just say, you know what, I'm just gonna hold the rundown numbers and play that until one of them hit. But if you really want to drill down to say, let me try to identify another pattern, I'm gonna give you guys a secret as to what I do. I usually use that 317, but I will do another rundown, and my other rundown is using my starting number would be 445. 445 is my starting number, just as how 317 is my starting number. And if you recall, in the beginning, I told you that you can use any combination of numbers to do your rundown. I just happened to come across this here, and I've never seen this combination being used before, so you can consider this one of the first places to see it, right? Just know that Lotto Gem coined this one. But let's use 228. And then, so let's do the rundown. Let's fill it in. Remember, you're going to get back to the number that you started with. I missed something here. Hold on. 3, 8, 3, 8. Oh, wait, hold on. 8, 3, 8, 3, 8, 3, 8, 3. Okay. Let me do this right. That's what happened. I missed a number. So imagine I've been doing this for so long and I just messed up. So don't feel bad if you ever do mess up and you need to go back and check yourself, right? So just see that I just checked myself here. I'm like, oh, it's not adding up. It's not coming back to where I started. So it should come back to where I started now. I had messed up, but I'm correcting myself. Okay, so in this example, I'm using 445 as a starting point, and I'm using my hit number to ping off of that to get my rundown. Within my previous example, there were some double numbers that came that I wasn't able to identify within my 317 rundown, and if you notice within the 445 rundown, I can definitely pinpoint my my possible doubles, right? This one here is a little bit simpler to work off of, and the reason why it's a little bit simpler is because that 5 is a mirror number. You see the 5 and the 0. So this row will always repeat itself. Wherever you start at 8, the 5 will always be a 3. It'll always alternate to that. So even if you start with, even if the 8 was like a 7, then it'll be 7, 7, 2, 5, 7, 2, 7, 2, right? So this is where I'm at. I started with an 8, and it's going to ping back and forth. When you have this, it's easy to now identify certain things. So let's go back to our lottery winning for today. And 901 came this evening, but if you see that 326 came for midday. So 326 sits right here, right? You see how it sits right there? And then it also sits right here. So 326 came 726. There were some other numbers that also came in this 445 rundown. And I'm just going to move a little bit quick so I can show you, because I remember where they fell. In this one here, we're going to look at 408. 408 came on 713. Look, it's right there. So, and that was a mid. You have 408, 713, Eve, right? I just messed it up a little bit here. All right, so let's also consider our doubles. Oh, I messed it up. Let me get my July numbers back again. Sorry about that. But while I'm doing this, I hope that my examples are helpful to make it easier so that you can do it on your own. And then if it works for you, come back and let me know so that I can keep bringing these videos to you guys. All right, so we stopped at the 408. Let's look at some doubles, right? Because we couldn't identify it in the 317 up there, but 334 came, and it's another. So this is, like I said, you have to look at patterns, right? So this 334 was on a caddy corner. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, especially if you're not used to it, but this is how you try to identify different ways of identifying your number. So 334 was on 7-7, and that was midday, right? Let's look at another double that also fell. We had 442. It's not a thing. We have 443, 440, 448. It's not a thing. Oh, you know what? It's not a thing in the rundown, but if you look at the top, it falls right here. I'm not going to really count it, only because the 445 was our starting point. So I'm not going to try to make it work, but if you're doing it and you see it and you want to use it, by all means, it's right there. Okay, so our next double was the 644. 644 doesn't touch anywhere here, so we're not going to even consider that. But if we skip down to the next eve, which was a 662, 662 falls right here, right here. And then that 662 came. When did it come? That's another even number, and it came on 712, right? All right, let me see if there was another double that came. Oh my goodness, I hope you guys can see this. Oh, so on where is it at? On 721, evening 344 came. And it's right here. 334. Oh wait, hold on. 344. Let's do 344. 721 eve. This is also an eve number. I think this pretty much covers my doubles. Let me just double check really quick. Oh, 353 is definitely is not there. What else came that we could not identify in the 317? We had a 979 and a 969. I have another example to show you guys, but I'm going to save that for another video. This one here has been pretty informative, so I don't want to make it too much longer than what it is. But I hope you guys were able to stick around and look at the comparative examples that I've given you. Typically, whenever I do my workouts, my rundowns, I do these together because I can usually ping off of both of them to try to narrow down my choices or my options as to what could possibly come, right? I'm just doing one more sweep. There is another one. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but the other one that came, I'm so glad I'm doing this other sweep because right here, 721, 828 came, and 828 sits right here, and that was a midday number. 828 sits right here, so 828, 721, mid. Let's see, did we even count the even numbers? Let's see how many even numbers that we have. Evening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 even numbers, 15, Mid was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 15 even numbers compared to the 10 midday numbers, and that's pretty good. So on the top, we left off at 22 hits. If we had also considered this rundown here, we would have had 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We would have had 28 hits. I think that's pretty awesome. And that's using those two rundowns. You're not doing rundown or workout every single day. You're just using one hit number to take you throughout the entire month. I urge you guys to try this for August. Use August 1st midday number, or you can even use August 1st midday and evening. I know some states play multiples, 3 numbers or 4 numbers. It's all up to you and how you want to do it, but this example, I'm only using one number. I was able to get 28 hits out of 26 days so far. That is an average of a hit a day, 1 hit per day, but we're, 2 hits over 26. So we're winning. We're in a positive right here. So go ahead and try it for your state, and comment down below to tell me if it did work for your state, if you were able to get hits off of it. And then also, if you want to see more, go ahead and like the video, share it, and subscribe. But thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to continue to bring you more examples of what's working for me and what has worked before, so that you guys can use it for yourselves. Take care.